will be a short video on how to bleed the coolant. This is a 2011 Grand Cherokee. It's got the 3.6 Pentastar. This will be the same for anything with 3.6 Pentastar. So similar years. I think they changed it in like 2015 or 2016. But I just changed out the water pump. New shine. So first thing you want to do, if you're really low on coolant, is take off radiator cap. A lot of misinformation out there. I see people saying you use this to bleed it, but this screw is just used to fill it. So you crack this screw open. You don't really have to take it all the way out. Just get it so it's open, like the valve right there. You get your coolant. I got my 50-50 mixture right here. We'll fill it up. 1 second there. Don't really have a stand for my phone. So you fill it directly into the radiator. This is really just your reservoir that'll suck the coolant down as you go, but this is really where you go. Right, so you're going to keep filling up until you consistently get all the air out of the system. That just helps as you fill. You'll see fluid eventually come out of that hole. Once you get fluid coming out, I already had fluid come out of mine, as you can see how wet it is. All you got to do is make sure your fluid is topped off. So I just put the air box on and connected the sensor over here. I think it's a temperature sensor. I didn't want to have any codes when I started the car up. Put this funnel in. It helps to keep your fill source higher than your air. Gravity does its job a lot better that way. So you go over, you start your car. I already started it for a few minutes until I got heat. So you want to make sure your car doesn't overheat the entire time. If it does, turn it off, give it some time and start it back up. You want to wait, turn your heat on full blast, have the AC off, have anything, if you have rear heat, turn on the rear heat, if it's a Dodge minivan or something. But yeah, turn your heat all the way, put it so you can feel it. I got good heat now. I didn't in the beginning. I had to run it for a while, rev it up like to 1500, 2000 for a bit, and then I felt the heat start coming, and that's when it sucked down all that fluid. So all I gotta do is just keep up with it. At this point, now that I have good heat, I'm probably gonna rev it a couple more times and make sure it doesn't have any big air bubbles. That's me squeezing that upper radiator hose. It's pretty warm now. Help force some of those air bubbles out. Now, some people I will have to tell, if you're not a mechanic, make sure when you're buying coolant for your car that you buy the right stuff for your car. There's some cars where if you use the wrong type of coolant, you'll have a leak in a while because it can deteriorate some of the seals in there. So make sure you use whatever is good for your car. And you can ask your local parts store, they can point you in the right direction. I wouldn't take their word as gold, but you know, take that how you know. So level's looking pretty good. Not many bubbles. I don't really like how the coolant's looking. You know, I just did this. It's obviously nighttime. I just wanted to get this back on the road so my wife can go back to work. So it looks like I'm getting most of those bubbles out. There's a direct correlation with how well your heat is working to how much air you've gotten out of the system. Most of that air, when you're almost fully bled, likes to make its way to the heater core, so you'll feel that in transfer of having no heat. So right now my heat's pretty cranky. I could probably ship it the way it is and I'd be fine. It probably wouldn't give me any overheating issues. Over time that air could make its way out, and that's why you want to keep your reservoir full, because it'll eventually suck this back in if there is an air pocket. So before I'm done, I'm just going to put this to the fill mark. Obviously it's a little higher because when I was filling it, a little went down where that hose goes. So I'll fill that back up, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you tighten down your airbox clamps when you put that back on, and yeah, good.